The chairman of Region 6 shared measures to prevent flooding during incessant rainfall in this Narima Ali report.
Guyana, being situated in the Caribbean, experiences two rainy seasons, one of which is slated to commence around the Christmas period. While it is a natural occurrence, heavy incessant rainfall will undoubtedly result in flooding in several low-lying areas of Guyana. In Region 6, one of the major concerns raised at the recent statutory meetings held at the RDC boardroom was the need for measures to be implemented to prevent and reduce the risk of flooding. Regional Chairman Mr. David Armagon first highlighted,
and so we are making sure that all our drainage pumps are in order, so that, in fact, at 43 yesterday we had to start the drainage pumps because we noticed that the water levels in the Blackbush Pool irrigation drainage system has been rising, and so we don't want to keep it too high, because if you get 2-3 days of rainfall, we'll be in flood condition. So we got to keep it to a certain level and make sure we monitor those levels, and every time the level begins to rise, what we do is that we start the pumps and get the water up. Besides the natural flow by gravity, we also have to start the pumps, because as you know, our system here has been designed to take off only 2 inches of rainfall water in a 24-hour period, and the intensity we had a few days ago was about 5 inches of rainfall within the 24 hours. So it means in certain areas there will be water on the ground for at least a day and a half to 2 days. And that's what it is, especially if you're operating with gravity flow. And that is why it is so necessary to have these pumps going, so that when there's a change in tide, we can work the pumps. And when there is a change in tide again, we do the gravity flow.
Additionally, Mr. Armagon revealed,
there are quite a number of outfalls that has to be done within we have to get done within the region. Our engineer only yesterday submitted to NDIA quite a number of these outfalls that we have to get done for preparation for the rainy season. The Ministry of Agriculture has asked us for a set of emergency measures that we have to put in place to make sure that all these sluices are clean, and so that we can have, because not all the sluices have pumps too. The pumps are not at every one of these sluices, so we got to depend on a lot of gravity drainage, and so we have to make sure that the systems are clear and clean so that the water can flow easily out.
Appeals were also made by the town's municipality for intervention to be made by the RDC.
The Mayor and Town Council made representation to my office with regards to the flooding in New Amsterdam. I've engaged the services of some engineers from the NDIA. They have made certain recommendations, and we are now looking to see where we can get funding to implement those measures that they have recommended, so that we can bring some relief to the people in New Amsterdam in the Strand area. As soon as you get 2 hours of rainfall, the Strand is underwater. And we have to look at that. I mean, even though it comes under the town council, it's part of the region, and so we have to deal with it. We have to be able to deal with emergencies in every area of our region, not leaving out any towns or villages.
In closing, the chairman noted,
I cannot guarantee that there will be no flooding, because if there is excessively heavy rainfall, then even with the pumps in place and even with the best drainage system in place, we will still have some amount of flooding going on. But we're trying our best to make sure that we can avoid flooding, because flooding is very costly to farmers. They lose their crops in some instances. The people with the cash crop especially, they suffer heavily during this rainy season. And not only the people in the NDCs, they have livestock, and they have other kinds of agricultural development going on within those areas. Those people too will suffer if we have serious flood conditions. The tide will begin to get high. So if you have heavy rainfall and very high tides, it means some of the areas in the coastal areas, and some of the coastal areas will be inundated with water for a little while.
If flooding is experienced in any areas, residents are being urged to minimize direct contact with the water, since this may pose a risk of contracting waterborne diseases like cholera. Narima Ali, Channel 8 News.